29, I believe, missed a shift earlier. Has been complaining about restarting. So you know what you got there. Just be aware of it.
I know I'm beating a dead horse, but I swear I got a tire that doesn't feel right. I can't tell. I mean, I don't know what's wrong. Something doesn't feel right, though.
Well, you know, he did slide the tires getting in to the pit road before he made that right side change. I saw the right front slide, and he could have slid the left front. Could be causing him some problems now because he's been better than Harvick all day, and Harvick passed him for the lead.
Well, the big guy that's got to worry about all this is Tony Stewart. He's behind both of them, especially if they are having a shift problem on the 29. He's directly behind him on this restart.
Yeah, that's when I thought Harvick spun the tires, but he actually missed the shift.
All right, let's also let you know that wave around before the last caution, it did help Denny Hamlin. He's now 19th on the lead lap. So is Allmendinger in 20th, and also Ryan Newman, who got the lucky dog, in 23rd. Jeff Gordon is 24th. Jimmy Johnson is 25th. All on the lead lap, as well as Scott Speed, who is the last car of the 26. So let's get an update on Kevin Harvick, Doc.
Kevin Harvick told me yesterday that he grew up in Bakersfield, California, and he was a huge Rick Mears fan. He said, growing up, I used to sit home every May and watch Rick Mears win Indy after Indy after Indy, and I hoped and prayed that someday I could follow in his footsteps and maybe win more than one. Maybe today is the day.
Kevin Harvick has already won this race once in his career. Can he make it a second? We're about to find out, because next time by, we will have 11 laps to go around this famed 2.5 mile oval. Pace car pulls off. Field forms up. We gave you the lineup. Watch Kevin Harvick if he has the shift. As they come towards the starter stand, the green flag will fly, and we are back racing again at the Brickyard 400.
Oh, McMurray with a really good restart. Can he hang on that outside here?
Well, we're going to find out, because a lot of guys are going with him.
Well, takes the lead off of turn one.
So give Jamie McMurray the lead. There is the 4 tires. Remember, on the 16 of Greg Biffle, he's in 4th, right behind Tony Stewart. The top 4 trying to pull away. There is Clint Boyer. He's got Kurt Busch to give him a little push to get around Jeff Burton.
Yeah, looks like Burton's struggling to get up to speed here on this restart.
Boyer clears, but Kurt cannot. Now he runs up a little higher. Kyle Busch, and here goes Biffle. Boy, he makes it easy around Tony.
I think Tony made it easy for him. He kind of moved over, let him have that spot, knowing he had the 4 tires. That's probably a good move there for Biffle, because that was a key pass.
Remember, on the previous caution, he was one of the few that did take all 4. Oh, this is not looking good. Hang on. That is Logano right up underneath the 5. You're on board.
You see, really getting Mark loose there. Mark trying to shut him down.
Yeah, he's not going to do it, though.
Logano gets underneath Mark. That is for position. Move Logano into the top 10.
This is like coming off the corner at Martinsville.
Yeah, Kenson, here comes Casey Kane. He's getting a big push from his teammate.
Right behind him is Bill Elton. Whoa, and coming across the bow, that is Matt Kenseth slamming over the door. And boy, Kane had to check up. Meanwhile, there comes Biffle in 3rd. Here is Tony trying to hang on to 4th with Boyer right behind him.
Yeah, Boyer has 4 tires also.
This time by, 9 laps remaining. It is still McMurray trying to do the double this year. Here we go a little bit further back. A.J. Allmendinger in the 43. Denny Hamlin. Remember, these guys are back on the lead lap now, so this is for position 15th overall.
Hamlin out of shape with Allmendinger getting underneath.
There's Bill Elliott trying to get another position for him. What a great run for he and the Wood brothers today.
He is running 17th right now. Remember, Martin Truex had problems a little earlier. He's right behind him in 18th. Jimmy Johnson trying to get back into this picture as well. He's got Brad Keselowski in his sights. That's 21st, and Jimmy's 22nd.
These guys can make 9 more laps without something big happening. I'll be surprised, but you see Jamie McMurray trying to break the draft a little bit.
This time by, 8 laps remaining here at the Brickyard. He's opened up a bit of a gap, about 0.4 of a second over Kevin Harvick. And Biffle hasn't been able to close as rapidly as he had been.
Well, he did close on him pretty quickly, like you said, Marty, but he can't seem to make any ground to pass him. It just it's so hard to make these passes on this track. You've got to set him up first.
Oh, and he got so close to the wall coming out of 2.
And how about McMurray? We talked about this guy showing up at the big races, but he just gets the job done.
Yeah, don't forget he got passed for the lead by Harvick right before the caution came out, and he took it right back.
Only 2 drivers have won the Daytona 500 and the Brickyard 400 in the same year. One of them was Jimmy Johnson in 06, and I'm standing next to the other guy, Dale Jarrett.
Yeah, that's a pretty big accomplishment to be able to do that. We did it in 1996, and I know Jamie's the furthest thought from his mind right now is the Daytona 500 back in February. He just got this in his sights right now, and he knows if he does his job and we don't have any cautions, he's going to do his job and bring it to Chip Ganassi.
Andy, you and I were talking with him on Friday back in the garage area, and he was relaxed, he was focused, and he was very confident about his race car.
Yeah, he was, and he's just, you can see why. He's just got great race cars under him. He's everything seems to be really clicking for him this year.
All right, let's get an update on Juan Pablo Montoya as he's out of the race, Jamie.
Well, Marty, we followed him back to the motor coach lot, and he told us, I have no comment. I went up into the 42 hauler to get an interview with his crew chief, Brian Patty. He's sitting up there with his head in his hands, and he said, I really don't want to talk. Last year happened. This year, it's my fault. I take total blame for what happened. 2 tires was the call.
Did you ever beat yourself up like that?
Oh, yeah, I would too. That same call I would have made. I would have called for 4 tires, leading the race right there. And, you know, you just don't know how it's going to work out. It's why it's so hard to sit on these boxes and make these calls. I still feel like, you know, Greg Biffle's got the 4 tires. He should have the advantage, but he's still not able to pass.
Did you see Tony Stewart, as you were finishing up, got sideways through the corner, and Boyer luckily did not make contact. I don't know how, but he didn't.
Yeah, this is a great job by Tony Stewart today. He doesn't have the car to be running 4th, but he's got it there, and he's wanting to keep it there.
Let's go back, take another look, and hold your breath this time.
See, Boyer, man, he's really right on the bottom making his car stick.
Yeah, it's that position right there that you lose that air on the spoiler. You're trying to power up and keep the guy behind you. What a great job by Tony Stewart.
Let's listen in on Clint.
Clint had to check up just a little bit.
He was trying to stay off of Tony. His car was pushing a little bit with the front, and he was trying not to hit him.
One little nudge from Clinton, he'd have been in the wall. Remember, Stewart was 13th at the halfway mark. All right, let's get an update on our race leader, Dave Burns.
I spoke with him about 9:30 this morning when he was in the hauler in the garage area, that being Jamie McMurray. McMurray told me that, you know, at Chicago, where we sat on the pole and led 72 laps but finished 5th, it turned well, and I knew it was going to. It was really predictable, but he said, I'm a little bit worried about my car this weekend. The laps look good, the lap times look good, but it's not turning well. Overnight, Kevin Mannion made changes to it, but Jamie went into the race a bit worried, and as he tries to win the Brickyard 400 for Chip Ganassi, he may still be a bit worried because he's got Biffle and Harvick behind him.
Right now, as you saw, he's got that almost 9/10 of a second lead over second place, and Kevin Harvick's got a mirror full of Greg Biffle still.
You can see Harvick had the back end of his car hung out, trying to keep Biffle back there as he came off of turn 4.
Meanwhile, McMurray is just, you know, maintaining that advantage, and it's so, you know, his car looks so good right here. I'm really surprised that it's able to be that good on 2 tires. Lap times are really fast at this point.
Biffle has brushed the wall at least once that we have seen. He's come oh so close through the corners. He is literally hanging this car out, trying to do everything he can to get up to that 29. Coming through 4. Next time by, 3 laps remaining, and these 3 have checked out on everybody else.
Yeah, and it's kind of racing's kind of calmed down back here too. These guys got a little more single file and got their racing finished.
3 laps remaining in the 17th running of the Brickyard 400, and right now it looks like Jamie McMurray is in control. Kevin Harvick still holding on to second place. He's not given an inch of an opening to that 16 of Greg Biffle.
This is a great battle. I mean, it's just, you can't make one little mistake.
Make no mistake about this. If Chip Ganassi pulls off this trifecta, that is such a feather. We may never see that again in our lifetime, where you win Daytona, the 500, and the Brickyard 400 in the same year. This time by, now 2 laps remaining as they come down the front straightaway, and Biffle got close to the wall again.
Well, he's got it completely hung out. I know the front end's not turning like he wants. He's standing in the throttle, just hoping that he can keep it out of the wall or just get a little bit of a run on Harvick.
We mentioned the fact that Chevrolet has won the last 7 races here. 11 total coming into this race. They've got first and second place. Ford is in third. The best Toyota is Kyle Busch right now running in 8th. The best Dodge is Kurt Busch running in 10th. But right now, it's coming down to those 3 guys up front.
And Jamie McMurray can't wait to see this white flag fly. That'll kind of ensure that we don't have a green-white checkers. He's just holding his breath till he gets to the line.
Coming through turn number 4. It's a long way down this front straightaway to the white flag. But Jamie McMurray, as he makes his way, white flag is out. And this race is going to be official. The final lap, 2.5 miles to go.
Boy, what a great feeling. What a great job Jamie McMurray's done. Ray Evernham sat down there. Ray, I know you're sitting there saying you're the one that picked this guy, and you have all week stuck with him. And Jamie McMurray looks like he's going to make it come true for Chip Ganassi and make you look like a genius too down there, buddy.
Down the backstretch for the last time. McMurray looking for his 5th Sprint Cup win in his 278th start. In the North Chute, Chip Ganassi. He knows he's this close to making history.
Yeah, he can start smiling now. You see it right there. You can see him come off the corner.
Jamie McMurray is going to win Daytona and the Brickyard 400 in the same year.
Please be a part of it, guys. That is outstanding what you've done for Chip Ganassi racing, fellas. Steve-O, good job, man.
Great pit stop. Awesome job today, guys. Unbelievable.
Chip Ganassi saying, pinch me. Is this real?
I saw Chip at dinner on Thursday night. I said,
Good job, Jamie.
I know what you're saying.
All day, man. Congratulations.
And 4 guys. Team effort.
I know what you're saying to all the media, but you know this opportunity is only going to come along once. He goes, yeah, I know it. And I don't want to say anything to jinx it. I do want it. I want it. And they did it, and they have succeeded. Congratulations to the entire Earnhardt Ganassi team. Look at the celebration going on pit road.
Turned out to be a call in the pits that made the difference for the Ganassi team. One of them took 2 tires, the other one took 4.
Yeah, and then Jamie McMurray on that last restart from the outside of Kevin Harvick, making the pass before they got out of turn 1.
All right, let's talk.
Kiss the brakes.
We're going to kiss the brakes. Let's talk to Chip Ganassi, Doc.
Chip, I know you don't get very emotional, but what a special day for you and this entire organization.
Pretty special. You know, my heart goes out to Juan. He had a great day too, but he and Jamie, you know, Bass, Target, this is for all of them. I'll tell you, this is a big, big day for our team, and I couldn't be happier to have it happen here at Indianapolis.
When will it sink in? I know you got IndyCar people watching. I mean, the Daytona 500, the Indy 500, and the Brickyard 400 all in one year.
It's incredible. I need oxygen. I don't know. I don't know what to say.
And what do you think Dad is saying back home, your biggest supporter?
I think he's watching right now. Hi, Dad. I hope you're on the oxygen back there, because I'll tell you what, I need some.
All right, go celebrate, Chip.
Okay, thanks.
Chip Ganassi headed to celebrate. And by the way, family, his mom and dad have been ailing, so what a special bit of medicine for the Ganassi family to have this happen here today.
You better believe it, Doc. You better believe it. Floyd Ganassi, we send you best to you and your bride, and boy, I know they are just bursting with pride right now, and they should be. What a great team. And Chip Ganassi, you got to understand the rivalry with Roger Penske. I mean, Penske has 15 Indy 500s, and Chip now has something that Roger or anyone else can lay claim to. When we come back, we've got a lot more from the Brickyard 400, where Jamie McMurray is your winner.
In the NASCAR season back in February, the biggest event in the NASCAR schedule, arguably one of the second biggest races would be the Brickyard 400. Well, team owner Chip Ganassi, he won the Indy 500 with Dario Franchitti, and he got the Indy sweep today as McMurray scored the win. No question, a trifecta for team owner Chip Ganassi. Most thought it would be Juan Pablo Montoya who would be the guy rolling into victory lane today, but it is Jamie McMurray with a huge double dip in major NASCAR races 2010. to a very happy Victory Lane and Dave Burns.
Making history requires hard work and a ton of spirit, and I think you got a bunch. What about today's win, Jamie?
Oh, it's unbelievable. We didn't have the best car, and when Kevin got by me with a few laps to go, I thought our race was over. What about that? Yes! Yes! I can't believe it. Oh, I don't believe it, shit. Unbelievable. Johnny Moore.
That's another happy thing.
Unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Can you believe it?
Yeah, I would think so.
But so when Kevin got by me, I thought our race was over. My car was real tight, and when he gave me the outside, it just gave me what I needed, and then my car was better at the end. And I just, I'm 10 laps to go. I'm like, just do what you got to do, and don't worry about those guys. So it was a really good day. I need to thank Sprint and all the fans for standing here. It was really hot today and hot in the car, and these guys stuck with us all day, and it was just an awesome day. Bass Pro Shops, McDonald's, Coca-Cola, Oakley Sunglasses, everybody that has stuck behind me when things weren't as great as they could have been, but it's unreal right now. And how about Chip winning the 500, both of them? And it's just awesome. I don't know what happened to Juan. I mean, he obviously had the dominant car again, and it's horrible the luck that team's having, but great race cars. Guys at our shop are doing an awesome job, and we're just a great team right now. I'm happy about it. Bono made a good call with the 2 tires.
What about giving Chip the trifecta now? I mean, I know you probably tried to not think about it during this week, but that's a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, when Juan was leading and I was in second, I'm a big believer in fate, and I thought this is just the way it's meant to be. I thought I won the 500, Dario, the Indy 500, and then Juan's going to win this race. I really thought it was his day, but just shows you never give up, and just drive your heart out every lap.
I know all the races pay the same in points, but what is it about you in the big events, my friend?
Well, we've been really good at these races, what they call the big events, and this car has set on the pole twice, and all 3 races in the top 5. I think it's got a first, a second, and a fifth. So it's a really good car, and I didn't want to tear it up on the front stretch doing the burnout. But I'm just shocked that I won the Daytona 500 and the Brickyard 400 in the same day. It's been an unbelievable year.
Are you saying you want to use it again? What's next on your list for this car?
I don't know. I don't make the decisions on that, but I assume it's going to come pretty quick.
All right, Jamie McMurray in Victory Lane at the Brickyard, and guys, he's made history giving Chip Ganassi the 3 big wins this year, 2 500s and a 400. Alan.
What a great feeling. Winning at Indianapolis. Want to know what it feels like? Just watch the expressions, watch the reactions of the men who've just been involved in that victory. Jamie's wife expecting, obviously. And what a great year. He's going to remember 2010 being McMurray in Victory Lane, celebrating a win in the 17th Brickyard 400. Lots more still to come. Think about a golfer winning at Augusta and then St. Andrews in the same year. You'd think he'd had a pretty good year, right? Well, Jamie McMurray has won the 2 biggest NASCAR races of the season in the same year, as he took the Daytona 500 back in February and now has taken the Brickyard 400 in Indianapolis. Really, 2010 has been a fine year compared to 2009 for McMurray.
Absolutely remarkable recovery by Jamie McMurray. He's put himself back in the spotlight and has done an outstanding job this year.
Went from being on the verge of wondering where his career was going to being the guy known for winning the majors. Let's head back upstairs for some more thoughts on today's race. Marty Reed, Dale Jarrett, and Andy Petrie. Easy for me to say.
It's all right. It's been a long day, Alan. I want to bring in Dale because you have a new member of your exclusive club now. 3 guys have won Daytona and the Brickyard in the same year. And you've also felt the other side of that equation with Juan Pablo Montoya.
Yeah, and let's speak about Montoya first. We had a race here in '98 where I had the fastest car, and unfortunately we didn't win. We ran it out of gas, but this is 2 years in a row for Montoya to just be dominant here. So really feel for the guy. I'm sure that he'll be back ready to go next week and back here again next year trying to do it. But Jamie McMurray, it's a great feeling whenever you win the 2 biggest races in the same season. Just fantastic, and my hat's off to Jamie for joining that club.
And one of the things that makes this racing so special is that strategy call right at the end, and 4 tires wasn't it?
Yeah, I would have called for 4 tires, and for sure that would have been a conservative call. But McMurray's team, they decided to go with 2, and quite a few other teams. And I kind of feel for Brian Patty. He's the one that's probably feeling responsible for the way this thing kind of turned out. out because it put him back in traffic and got him in trouble. But that's just what makes him so unpredictable. That's why you got to watch him every week. You never know.
All right, let's talk to second place, Kevin Harvick.
Kevin Harvick has won this race before and came close to doing it again today. Second place. I know it's not the same as winning, but you were in position. What was the key on that last restart when Biffle got around you?
Well, I got tight going into turn 1 there in the middle and just had to wait on my car, and Jamie was able to just carry the momentum around the outside. The first restart, my car took off great. We were able to get by him, and my car never acted like that again. But good day for our Shell Pennzoil Chevy, and everybody did a great job just putting us in position. I felt like we had a top 5 car, but didn't have a winning car. And we had a chance to win there at the end and just came up a little short.
How do you put in perspective the strides that this organization has made in a year's time?
It's pretty hard to put it into perspective just for the fact that, last year we were at best a mid-pack car on a good day. And, this was kind of the turnaround where it started last year where we got our new cars. And, even today, we like I say, we had a top 5 car, but we had a car that was capable of winning at the end because we took a chance and were able to run fast enough to have a chance. So, with our cars last year, we couldn't even take that chance because they weren't fast enough and we wind up in the way. But good job to Gil and all the guys.
The points leader, Kevin Harvick, second today at the Brickyard.
Yes, and he has had a very good year so far, as we pointed out at the beginning of the broadcast. How about the ticket to the race, our upcoming events? Next week, we're going to be off to Pocono and then on to Watkins Glen, Michigan, Bristol, on through to Auto Club Speedway. All you have to do is log on to NASCAR.com/tickets or call 866-GO NASCAR. We'll see you at one of those events down the road. When we come back, Carl Edwards will be joining us in the pit studio with Alan and the guys. He finished 7th. He'll give us his evaluation.
Track for the fans to see. One of the traditions post-race here at Indy. Won't be too long before he'll be out by that yard of bricks to pucker up, put that big old smooch on the yard that he'll so enjoy. Chip Ganassi, co-owner Felix Abades, all piled in there. Now joining us in our ESPN pit studio, as he's agreed to do for all of our ESPN race telecasts this year and our extensive post-race coverage, Carl Edwards, today driver of the Aflac Ford for Roush Fenway Racing. First of all, you were remarking before we start to talk about your race about your fellow, what is it, Missouriite?
No, he's a Missourian. and yeah, it's a proud day to be from Missouri. It's so cool for Jamie to win this race, to see what he's been through. The first time I met him, he was at Mike Mittler's shop. He came and answered the door, and he's all greasy. He used to have long hair, and he's working on something under the truck. And he's always been a polite guy and a guy that could do anything on the race car. And to see the struggles that he's gone through, and I mean, just look at that smile. That's yeah. Unbelievable. So cool to see him out there.
Priceless. Now let me take you through a little bit of your race. You wound up finishing 7th. It wasn't that easy. You started 19th. There was a big wreck, turn 2, lap 1. You missed that somehow, but then you wound up on pit road at lap 10 with an overheating car.
Right, and I don't know what it looked like to you guys or to the fans, but the air was the biggest thing we were racing out there today. And, there was one time when somebody got the splitter down there in the grass, and it looked like a snowplow, and it threw all this grass up. And I'm glad I looked at my water gauge because it was it just headed up, got to 300 degrees, and a lot of guys had that trouble. But then as the race went on, we took 4 tires at the end because we thought that tires would be the thing, and that it's so strange. You're not really racing the tires, you're racing that air. And the guys with 2 tires, they're the ones that made out today.
We sit right here in the pit studio, myself and Ray, Andy, Peter, the booth, and said, hey, 4 tires, that is it. But the clean air, I mean, getting that car out front just had to be everything. Did it feel that way? I mean, it looks like the cars were all over when they got behind cars.
Right, you could run very hard, on the short run and kind of ratchet some positions up. But, as opposed to last night at a small track like ORP where aero's not such a big thing, 4 tires that was the deal there. I don't even, no tires or 2 tires was the deal here. And Jamie and those guys played it right, and then they stayed out front. We just, we never had a chance to get up there. But the cool thing for us is that I think Greg Biffle had a chance to win this race. I felt like he had a car that could do it. That's great for Ford, for 3M, for Aflac, for all of us at Roush Fenway. We obviously lost a great driver in Jamie, but it's nice to be able to keep up with them a little bit here at this race.
Yeah, that was going to be my comment. I mean, you guys feel like you've kind of turned the corner a little bit today. I mean, you had Matt Kenseth, yourself, Greg Biffle, all within the top 12. Yeah. Looked like you all ran pretty well. Is this a turning point for you guys?
Yeah, it is, and it's inspiring to look at what Jamie did and those guys today. See him going around that racetrack smiling and waving with the checker flag, and to know that his 2009 was not what he wanted it, and here he comes to 2010, and he's won the 2 biggest races of the season. And that gives us hope. And I'm proud of my guys back at the shop, just as those guys should be proud of theirs.
Well, I was going to kid you and tell everybody you knocked me out of my chair when I get there, but I figured you had a long enough week with that. But,
I was hoping we could make it through this without bringing that up.
I said he's in great shape. He's not even sweating. But, it seems like in the last 3 or 4 weeks at Roush, you guys have really turned the corner. Is that the new engine? Is it suspension? It just seems like right now you're a threat to win races again.
Right, it's everything. You guys know how that is. You have to have every part of the package. And, the perfect example is I keep talking about Jamie, but it's his day today. And you look at Jamie and how he ran over with us, and then he came over to this other team, and he's running so well. And it's really inspiring to all of us. We sit there in those meetings and we go, look, we can do this too. We can go out here and perform well. In the last few weeks, it's been that FR9. It's been the guys in the shop paying attention to the details. This new car I drove today is the nicest car we've had come out of the shop. And it's everybody sticking together as a team. That's what makes things work.
So to put a button on your day, you wound up 7th after being 33rd 10 laps into the race. You were there by Montoya when he had his troubles late in the day. Just kind of put a button on your whole day for us.
Our day was great. We had one of our Aflac Crew of Courage members, a man, Jerry, that had beaten cancer 3 times. Wow. And it kind of put things into perspective for me starting the day. And we never got down. We kept digging, and we needed it to be the Brickyard 600 or 700 to make a couple more positions. But a great day for us and for Ford.
Carl, thanks for your analysis on the race and some of the things you saw. We look forward to talking to you after next Sunday's race in Pocono.
All right, thanks a lot, guys.
Carl Edwards joining us on our ESPN post-race coverage after finishing in the top 10 in the Brickyard 400.
And as you look down on this beautiful 2.5-mile layout, another race in the record books. And let's check in with a guy who had a long day, a 4-time champion, Jimmy Johnson. Jamie Little's with him.
Well, for Jimmy Johnson, an eventful day today, Jimmy, from start to finish, the pit road issues. What happened earlier?
Well, we were just trying to make the car better on the pit stops and took some time early in the race to adjust the car to correct the tight end. My car was just so tight in. I had guys outbraking me at a track where you really don't charge the corner. So we're really confused as to why. Maybe something went on with the shock or something in the front, although we changed both front shocks thinking that might be it, and it didn't really correct the problem. So we, from Chicago, we had this as well, where at a certain point in the race we just got real tight, and then today it happened probably about, after that first, caution that we had at 15 laps or something. After that, it just got real tight in and I couldn't go anywhere.
3 finishes in a row now, 22nd or worse. That's not like Jimmy Johnson, the 48 team. How are you guys looking ahead now to Pocono?
And you just never know each week. It doesn't matter if the 11 car's been on a roll at times, we've been on a roll at times, 29, whoever it is, no one seems to be able to sustain for a long period of time. So the only saving grace I see right now is that no one has been able to link together a long stretch outside of the 29. I mean, he's been awfully tough, but a good thing this race isn't in the chase. That's another good thing I can look at. I'm trying to find some positives here, but we'll move on and we'll be stronger. There's no doubt about it.
Jimmy Johnson staying optimistic.
All right, Jamie, as you finish, the Corvette pace car has made it back around. Believe it or not, there were 7 people in that Corvette, including Chip Ganassi and Felix Sabates and our race winner, Jamie McMurray. Chevrolet didn't know they made a...
I've been 7.5.
They didn't know they made an SUV that size or that powerful, did they? They got a lot of people in there, but here it is, the moment that was begun by our colleague right up here in the booth, along with your crew chief, Tom Parrott, came up with the idea of kissing the bricks. And the traditions here at Indianapolis, of course, the milk back in 1936 with Louis Meyer. He actually drank buttermilk that day, believe it or not.
I think Jamie's going to pour some Coca-Cola on the bricks before he gets done.
Well, that would make it taste a little better, wouldn't it? What is it?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. There's no doubt. A good Coca-Cola. I'm sure he's ready for a good cold Coke right now.
Can you imagine Chip Ganassi's feeling right now as well? Thinking about this moment along with the rest of those crew members, and here they are after winning the 17th running of the Brickyard 400.
I can assure you, in respect to all the drivers' wives that had the opportunity to do that, that is a wonderful kiss right there. That is the culmination of a lot of hard work and effort on all of those guys' part. And that's what's so great, is all the people that help make it possible. Not all of them, because there's still some that obviously with the guys we talk about at the shop, but these people all had a huge hand in making it happen. and they can help celebrate right here.
Chip just got pumped off.
I can't imagine how Chip feels right now. This is such an accomplishment for him.
While they continue to take the photographs, changing all the hats that the process goes through, let's take a look at the updated chase for the 12 spots for the chase after 20 races. And look at Greg Biffle right now in that 11th spot. Is boy, he has made himself a player again in the top 12. Let's talk to him, Doc.
Well, Greg Biffle logs a career best third place finish at the Brickyard. And Greg, when the day began, did you have any idea that your car would be this competitive and run this well?
Well, we're certainly hoping it would. Last year we finished 4th here with a similar setup, a little bit different this time. But, you know, pretty happy we could run with a 42. I was excited about that. 3M piston earplug Ford Fusion, really good. Engines just ran great. Just wanted to get 4 to win. You know, I mean, we're going to have to take some chances, and I guess 2 tires is what we're going to have to do one of these days.
The final call there, you took 4 tires, others took 2. Who made the call? And now when you look back on it, obviously, if you'd have taken 2, would it have made a big difference?
Yeah, I think we would have probably, you know, anybody could say we could have won, but, you know, I think 2 would have been the right call. We could have raced with the 1. We were about as good as the 1, maybe a little better than the 1, but about the same as the 42. So 2 tires probably would have put us up front, and we could have duked it out for the win. But, you know, great run, good top 3 finish for us. Didn't gain a lot in the points. A lot of guys finished right around us. We're racing for the chase, but still a good day.
Hey, congratulations on another great day, bud.
Thank you.
All right, Doc, thanks. So Greg Biffle's comments there on finishing 3rd. And as we watch the celebration continue out by the Yard of Bricks, in the pit studio with Rusty, Brad, and Ray to kind of put a button on some of the stories we talked about before the race started on NASCAR Countdown. Rusty, the Penske effort today.
Yeah, absolutely. Roger didn't get a win again here at the Brickyard 400. They tried really hard. They had a great-looking car, just couldn't quite get the handle on it. Yeah. You got to feel for him. You know, we talked about him on our Countdown show. They gave it another run at it, but hey, got to try it again next year.
Yeah, that's right.
And Brad, we talked about Jeff Gordon.
Yeah,
we talked about Jimmy
man.
Johnson. We talked about Denny Hamlin.
Wow, I'm going to tell you what, for Jeff Gordon, the day really never got started very well. But for Jimmy Johnson, the day just unraveled. He was extremely quick early on. We thought he was going to be a threat to Montoya, and he just ended up going backwards all day long. Same for Denny Hamlin. Got a lap down, fought his way back, just couldn't quite get in the mix. Tough day for those 3 gentlemen.
And Ray, the Ganassi story. He wound up getting the trifecta, but it wasn't with the driver most of us thought, but it was with the guy you thought.
Well, the Ganassi organization has got depth, and Chip runs so good here, and it's really neat. Congratulations, Chip. It's great to see be part of history, but all along, you know, knew that 42 was fast. But as I said, that one car, Jamie McMurray and the group had portrayed confidence all week long, worked on their car. Jamie just had some bounce in his step, and I knew that if that 42 were to falter, that the 1 could be there to pick it up. That's a sign of a great race team.
Going to have to start calling him Majors McMurray
yeah,
at
right.
The minute. So Jamie McMurray celebrating the win here at the Brickyard 400. And as we continue our extensive post-race coverage here on ESPN after today's race, we talked about Jeff Gordon just a second ago. Let's get his post-race thoughts with Jamie Little.
And Jeff Gordon brings it home 23rd today. Jeff, kind of a wild and crazy day. We saw you lose a tire at one time. What happened out there today?
I saw the 9, the 29 kind of come together a little bit, racing hard. And we got a good run on them and made up a couple positions. We really struggled today with the DuPont Chevrolet. I mean, track position is so important here. We see that all the time. You know, we had a good car at times, but just not a good enough one to drive up through there. And so we were just kind of, you know, doing our best and, you know, took advantage of that situation. Then all of a sudden I felt a big vibration. I thought I had a loose wheel, but then they said the splitter was vibrating. And then, I don't know, must have broke off and cut the right side tires, and I just went along for a ride. I got pretty lucky, actually, with it. We didn't tear the car up down there in turn 1, and we fixed the best we could and just brought it home.
New right side tire, of course, a lot of talk, first time running a spoiler here. Did you notice any difference?
Well, you know, I mean, there's a huge difference from what we used to have. I mean, this tire lasts no problem. I mean, the tire issue we had was purely because we ran over something. So, you know, I give Goodyear a lot of credit from that sense, but, you know, we're really struggling trying to pass out there. And, I mean, my car didn't feel any better on lap 1 than it did on lap 15. So, you know, I think there's some things they can do to improve it if they can keep the wear good. But, you know, right now I think with this surface here at Indy and our cars, and as much as we, you know, eat up right side tires, I think this is probably the best of both worlds.
So good news coming from Jeff Gordon. Long, hard-fought day. He brings it home 23rd.
Well, and I guess it depends on what kind of car you have, because remember Joey Logano, he could pass. He started dead last in this field, picked up 33 total spots, ended up finishing in 9th. So there was some passing going on out there, quite a bit of passing, in fact, today. But if your car didn't handle, you weren't going anywhere. Let's check in now with a guy who really surprised everybody coming home in 5th, Tony Stewart. He's with Vince.
It's been a tough weekend for Tony Stewart. Been battling a little bit of a summer cold. Had a couple of bags of IVs yesterday and tried to get a race car to work for him this weekend as well. And I know Darian Grubb and his crew massaged on it all day long. What did you have there at the end when you brought it home 5th?
The 2 tires got us some track position at the end, but we were a little bit too free back to the gas. But I'm so proud of Darian and these guys on this Old Spice Office Depot team. We were probably, honestly, about a 20th place race car last night after happy hour. So a top 5 today feels like a win, but just an awesome job. Darian stayed up late last night and was working through different simulations and trying to figure out what combination we could change to and just make this thing better. But just a long weekend. Glad we had a great weekend for Old Spice. This is a home race for him, being Procter & Gamble being in Cincinnati, and we're going to lose them at the end of the year, but just I've had a great run with them for 11 years now, and just really appreciative of everything Old Spice has done, and appreciative of everything that Office Depot does for us too. So an awesome weekend for us.
I was talking to Darian before the race, and he said we need to get some wins. We feel like you're going to be a chase team, but you need those bonus points. You haven't gotten a win yet this year. Do you feel like you're getting close, or how close do you feel like you are?
Well, I mean, we're still lacking, I'll be honest. I mean, I wish I could say that we were where we needed to be, but you know, I'm proud of our organization. I mean, all the guys that are at Stewart Haas Racing that don't get to come to the racetrack on the weekend, they've really been working hard, and the engineers have been working long hours and staying afterwards each day, just trying to make us better. And you know, that's all as a driver, and especially as a car owner, that's all you can ask for is the hard effort these guys are putting forth.
The Indiana fans were cheering for him today. Smoke brings it home 5th at the Brickyard.
Got everything he could out of that ride today. Did a great job, and there is your race winner. In fact, for Jamie, 16 laps led is the second fewest laps led by a 400 winner. Guess who had the fewest? Yeah, if you guessed Dale Jarrett, you're right. He led 11 back when he won here in 1996. And of course, you want to talk about an interesting day. How about Kyle Busch? Remember, he was involved in that first lap mess, and Jamie Little's caught up with him.
And Kyle Busch brings it home 8th today, but after lap 1, Kyle, it looked like your day could have ended. There was a multi-car wreck. How did you guys fight back from that?
I'm unsure, but we just gave it all we had. You know, I don't know what happened there on that first lap. I just lost it, I guess. And fortunately, we didn't get hit by many other cars. Just the 77 just barely touched us, and minor repairs to the car. But car drove well. It was really good. Just in traffic on the initial restarts and stuff, it was real edgy. But once we got single filed out, car drove pretty good. So thank Dave and all the guys on this M&M's Camry. They gave me a pretty good race car today. So fortunate for the month that we've had, we got back out here with a solid top 10 finish. So also just a special promotion for the Kyle Busch Foundation. If you go check out rowdybusch.com, purchase some stuff. It all's tax-free, and you know, hopefully we can get some sales for the Kyle Busch Foundation.
And Kyle, this weekend you had a new spotter, Eddie DeHaan, your interim spotter as of now. How'd it work out, and are you going to keep him on board?
Things went well. You know, Eddie was with me for all 3 races, and he did a great job. You know, we're going to go out, have some lunch later this week, and talk about a couple things on how he did, how I liked it, and what maybe Dave wants to hear different or something like that. But so far, so good.
Solid day for Kyle Busch. Thanks, Kyle.
Yeah, and he needed one, because if you look back over the last few races, in fact, last 6, in fact, there are the numbers, guys.
Yeah, and just as Jamie pointed out, it could have been devastating, that first lap spin that he had there in turn 2. Could have gotten hit by other cars and had another one of those 40th place finishes, and that would have been bad.
All right, let's talk a little bit more about Jamie McMurray. Again, he took the lead for the first time at lap 140. That's the latest a winner has ever done that.
Well, what gets me about Jamie is how well he's done since he's come back to Chip Ganassi Racing. It's been a great homecoming. It seems like, you know, he just never really got his mojo over at Roush and didn't have the kind of finishes that he you know, we can see that he can get. But man, he came back to Ganassi and they've welcomed him with open arms, and what a great success it's been.
Yeah, and I think Jamie will tell you that he feels like he's at a place now that he was wanted. You know, before he was just kind of making moves, trying to find his spot, but he's wanted back here. They sought him out, trying to get him back here to be a part of this race team, and everything happened for them right today. And you know, you talked about how late he took the lead. Well, it was a great pit call that got him in that position, and then he made a terrific pass.
Let's take a look at what we always call the money stop.
Yeah, I was calling for 4 tires for my guy, which was Montoya, and here they are taking 2. They get in here and make a really good stop, get out of the pits. Jamie's ready to go as soon as that jack dropped, and then he really had to race Harvick for this.
Yeah, I can't tell you how difficult this is right here to really drive it off in that outside lane right there. There's not a lot of grip up there to make that pass and get yourself in the clean air that you had to have to win this race. What a terrific job by Jamie McMurray.
And there was the celebration by Chip Ganassi and his team, and the burnout, which literally tore up the whole right rear quarter panel. And the celebration as they kiss the bricks here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So the celebration, I think, will go deep into the night for the #1 team of Jamie McMurray. So let's spin a little bit forward now. As we always have the big events. Let's talk about now, because we're going to start focusing on the chase.
Yeah, and Kevin Harvick, he wanted to be the guy that won this race for the 9th time and going to win the championship. Now, he's still our championship leader, but you know, you have to focus in on him. This team is doing everything right, and he's kind of put some distance between himself, even though things will close up here in just a few races.
And what has to make him feel really confident going into the chase is 4 out of the top 6 were Earnhardt Childress Racing engines, and so you got the power under the hood, you can make that car handle.
And there you see the photos. It never gets boring, does it? I mean, all the photos you have to take when you win?
As long as they want to stay there, a driver's willing to stay there and take change as many hats, whatever you want to do.
Well, another year at the Brickyard. Can you believe there's actually been 17 of them, guys?
It does. It seems like yesterday we came here and we've seen so many great races and so many great champions, and Jamie McMurray is going to be a great one.
Yeah, it's just an exciting day for Chip Ganassi. I mean, as Marty said earlier, we may never see this happen again with an owner winning all 3 of those big races.